Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Last week, we heard the story of Paundraka. How Paundraka got a particular benediction from Lord Shiva. And then Paundraka became so puffed up that he said, I am Vasudeva. And he sent his messenger to Krishna in Dwaraka. And the messenger read the message. King Paundraka spoke to Krishna through the messenger that I, Paundraka, I am Vasudeva. Therefore, you should give your weapons to me. Because Krishna has those 4 things, Sudarshan Chakra, the Kaumodaki club, the lotus flower, and the conchal. And Paundraka said, Krishna, if you come and surrender to my lotus feet, then you will be delivered. Otherwise, if you do not surrender to me, then I will fight you. So when the messenger relayed this message to Krishna, everybody in Krishna's assembly laughed very loudly because this statement by Paundraka was so ludicrous, so crazy. So Krishna then decided to fight with Paundraka, and he saw Paundraka that he had somehow or other arranged to have imitation of the 4 symbols, but they were imitation because these 4 symbols are there with Krishna or Vishnu Narayan. They're real and they're actually personalities. They're not actually objects. They're actually personalities who take the form Sudarshan Chakra, the club, the lotus, and the conchal. So there was a fight, and of course, Krishna very humorously said, so Paundraka, you asked for me to relinquish my weapons, so here's my Sudarshan Chakra. Let's see if you can handle it. So the Sudarshan Chakra cut off Paundraka's head, and it also cut off the head of the king of Kashi, because he had joined in the fight, and he had bragged, actually. The king of Kashi had bragged to his people that you will see that I will bring the head of Krishna to you, proving that he has been killed. So Krishna not only killed the king of Kashi, but he threw the head into the city of Kashi. And the residents, they came out and they thought, oh, this must be Krishna's head. But then they saw, no, it was the head of the king of Kashi. And that is how the story ended. So this next episode is a continuation of that Paundraka Leela. So let's get right into it. Before I go any further, Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarva Avastang Gatopi Va Yat Smaret Pundarika Akshang Subhaya Abhyantara Shuchihi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Om Agyana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshubur Unmilitang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Koroti Vachalam Pangang Langhayate Gidim Yat Kripatamahang Bandi Sri Gurun Dinataranam Yat Kripatamahang Bandi Paramananda Madhavam. This episode is entitled Sudakshina Killed by Dakshin Agni. The king of Kashi had a son whose name was Sudakshina. After observing the ritualistic funeral ceremonies, Sudakshina took a vow that since Krishna was the enemy of his father, he would kill Krishna and in this way liquidate his debt to the king of Kashi. Therefore, accompanied by a learned priest qualified to help him, Sudakshina began to worship Mahadev, Lord Shiva. The Lord of the kingdom of Kashi is Vishvanatha, or Lord Shiva. The temple of Lord Vishwanath is still existing in Varanasi, and many thousands of pilgrims still gathered there daily in that temple. By the way, you will read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that when Lord Chaitanya visited Benares or Kashi or Varanasi, saying three different synonyms, he also went to that temple of Vishwanath, and Lord Chaitanya offered his prostrated obeisances to Vishwanath, Lord Shiva, because Lord Chaitanya knows very well that Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. He is the most exalted of all the followers of Lord Vishnu. By the worship of Sudakshina, Lord Shiva was very pleased, and Shiva wanted to give a benediction to his devotee. Sudakshina's purpose was to kill Krishna, and therefore Sudakshina prayed for a specific power by which to kill Krishna. Lord Shiva advised that Sudakshina, assisted by qualified brahmanas, execute the ritualistic ceremony for killing one's enemy. This ceremony is also mentioned in some of the Tantra scriptures. Lord Shiva, however, informed Sudakshina that if such a black ritualistic ceremony were performed properly, then the evil spirit named Dakshinagni would appear in order to carry out any order given to him. Dakshinagni would have to be employed, however, to kill someone other than a qualified brahmana. In such a case, Dakshinagni would be accompanied by Lord Shiva's ghostly companions, and the desire of Sudakshina to kill his enemy would be fulfilled. When Sudakshina was thus encouraged by Lord Shiva in that way, Sudakshina was sure that he would be able to kill Krishna. And so, with a determined vow of austerity, Sudakshina began to execute the black art of chanting mantras, assisted by the priests. After this, out of the fire came a great demoniac form, whose hair, beard, and mustache were exactly the color of hot copper. This form was very big and fierce, and as the demon arose from the fire, cinders of fire emanated from the sockets of his eyes. The gigantic fiery demon appeared still more fierce due to the movements of his eyebrows. He exhibited long, sharp teeth, and sticking out his long tongue, licked his upper and lower lips. He was also naked and carried a big trident which blazed like fire. After appearing from the fire sacrifice, Dakshinagni stood wielding the trident in his hand. Instigated by Sudakshina, the demon proceeded toward the capital city, Dwaraka, with many hundreds of ghostly companions, and it appeared that he was going to burn all outer space to ashes. The surface of the earth trembled because of Sudakshina's striking steps. And when he entered the city of Dwaraka, all the residents panicked, just like animals in a blazing forest fire. At that time, Krishna was playing chess in the Royal Assembly Council Hall. All the residents of Dwaraka approached and addressed Krishna. Dear Lord of the three worlds, a great fiery demon is now ready to burn the whole city of Dwaraka. Please save us. In this way, all the inhabitants of Dwaraka appealed to Lord Krishna for protection from this fiery demon who had just appeared in Dwaraka to devastate the whole city. Lord Krishna, who specifically protects his devotees, saw that the whole population of Dwaraka was now most perturbed by the presence of the great fiery demon. Krishna immediately smiled and assured them, "Don't worry. I shall give you all protection. Ma Shucha." The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is all-pervading. Therefore, his name is Vasudeva. Krishna is with everyone's heart, and Krishna is also without in the form of the cosmic manifestation. Krishna could understand that the fiery demon was a creation of Lord Shiva, and in order to vanquish Sudakshina, Krishna took his Sudarshana chakra, ordering him to take the necessary steps. This Sudarshana chakra appeared with the effulgence of millions of suns, his heat being as powerful as the fire created at the end of the cosmic manifestation. By his effulgence, the Sudarshana chakra illuminated the entire universe on the surface of the earth as well as in outer space. Then the Sudarshana chakra began to freeze the fiery demon created by Lord Shiva. In this way, the fiery demon Dakshinagni was checked by Sudarshan chakra of Lord Krishna. And being defeated in his attempt to devastate the city of Dwaraka, Dakshinagni had no choice but to turn back. Having failed to set fire to Dwaraka, the fiery demon went back to Varanasi, the kingdom of Kashiraj. As a result of his return, all the priests who had helped instruct the black art of mantras, along with their employer Sudakshina, were burned to ashes by the glaring effulgence of the fiery demon Dakshinagni. According to the methods of black art mantras instructed in the Tantra scriptures, if the mantra fails to kill the enemy, then because it must kill someone, it kills the original creator. Sudakshina was the originator, and the priests assisted him. Therefore, all of them were burned to ashes. In this way, and this is the way of the demons. The demons try to create something to kill God, but by the same weapon, the demon themselves are killed. Following just behind the fiery demon Dakshinagni, the Sudarshana chakra also entered Varanasi. This city had been very opulent and great for a very long time, Why, even now, the city of Varanasi is opulent and famous, and it is one of the important cities of India. There were then many big palaces, assembly houses, marketplaces, and gates. Lecturing platforms could be found at each and every crossroad. There were buildings that housed the treasury, the elephants, horses, chariots, and grain. And there were places for distribution of food. The city of Varanasi had been filled with all these material opulences for a very long time. But because the king of Kashi and his son Sudakshina were against Lord Krishna, the Vishnu Chakra, the Sudarshana Chakra, the disc weapon of Lord Krishna, devastated the whole city by burning all these important places. This excursion was more ravaging than modern bombing. The Sudarshana Chakra, having thus finished his duty, came back to his Lord, Sri Krishna, at Dwaraka. This narration of the devastation of Varanasi by Krishna's disc weapon, the Sudarshana Chakra, is transcendental and auspicious. Anyone who narrates, anyone who hears this story with faith and attention will be released from all reaction to sinful activities. This is the assurance of Shukadeva Goswami, who narrated this story to Parikshit Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.